Y'all know what we do. What's up, all my tokers, jokers, and smokers? Welcome back to another edition of Deliciously Dope's Daily Chronicles, the new and improved and international, y'all, Deliciously Dope's Daily Chronicles. I would like to introduce my producer and my Canadian friend that's going to handle all Canadian Deliciously Dope content. That's right, y'all. Deliciously Dope Canada is coming to a face near you soon. I give you Miss Danica. Danica, what's going on, girl?
Oh my goodness. So happy to be here. So happy to be part of the project. And you've already built a really incredible US platform. And the PR in me runs deep. So when I got a project like yours and what you were up to, I had to sink my teeth into it. So we're excited to not only just Canada, but we're going international with this baby.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Now, our next guest really needs no introduction, but I'm going to try my best anyway. Now, Deliciously Dope has made its way into Canada. And what most famous place in Canada than Letterkenny, a place with over a population of 5,000 people or a little under, and we know all about their problems. But today we get to sit down and sesh with someone who has seen it all, both on set and behind the scenes. Now, what better perspective could a person ask for? I mean, honestly, in the kitchen, you're going to ask to see, you talk to the dishwasher, and that person right there knows everything that's going on. Believe you me. All right. Now, without any other, perspective included, that person's going to give it to you true. So what's the dishwasher of Canada? A skid. So let's get into the mind of plywood so that we better understand a different perspective, a perspective with a person with nothing to lose and everything to gain. I love that. Our next guest is someone who knows what it's like to wake up each morning and grind. Also knows what rock bottom feels like, but through all of life's troubles and struggles, he's kept honest to himself and landed himself on the TV, the hit show on TV, Letterkenny. Now, honestly, I, for one, am immensely proud of his story. I'm proud of his perseverance. I'm proud of his drive. I'm proud of just everything he stands for, man. I honestly can consider him a very close friend since we met. We immediately hit it off. We talk almost every day. Maybe it's a little bit of what's up, what you doing, hey, what's going on, we'll smoke, it is what it is. But that just goes to show how real someone can be and how someone can inspire not only loyalty, but a positive outlook on life. My tokers, jokers, and smokers, I give you Connor, the Vape Lord, Patrick McNeil. What up, man? How you doing, baby?
Hello, Saya and Madame. How'd you know so much about me?
Because we talk every day.
That's not actually me, Rod the Bod.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks. So if that's not you, then how come I got the nickname Rod the Bod?
Because it's the ghost of Patrick. I'm actually dead. I'm not actually alive. I'm just joking.
It's the ghost of Patrick.
I'm very
absolutely.
stoked.
Absolutely, man. Now, I do have a couple of questions that people have been hounding me to ask you about Letterkenny, so let's hurry up and get them out the fucking way, and then we can get into what we really want to talk about, B. Letterkenny, man, tell us how you got there.
Okay, Letterkenny, how I got there. Well, I live in North Bay, Ontario, and I started making films and stuff when I was like 15, 16.
Hold on.
And I did digital cinematography.
For international friends, you have to explain where North Bay is, because that is...
Okay, sorry. I will explain where North Bay is on your map. North Bay is in Ontario, Canada. It's a small town north of Toronto. Yeah, north. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, I was going to college, and my friend Blaise Boissonneau, who was in there, he came and said, hey, there's this TV show going around. It's called I think he's like, it's like some Letterkenny or something. And then they're trying to interview skids, like, or try to get auditions for skids, sorry. And I'm like, audition for a skid. They like want people with long hair and beards. I'm like, well, I look like I'm fucking cracked out. I'm going to try that shit out. So I popped my board out. And then I went home and I got a few audition tapes. I auditioned for Rolled, and then I auditioned for Stewart. And I didn't get those roles, obviously. The two gentlemen who got it, who deserved to because they fucking kill the roles, they got it. And I still got a call on my graduation night saying, hey, do you want to be a background skid? It's where you hang out with the skids and you get FaceTime. I'm like, oh, FaceTime? Yeah, fuck, sign me up. So then I went there, and me and my buddy Danny, who was also in college, who plays Darian on the show, drove from North Bay to Sudbury for the 5-6 days that we had, like every time we had to act. We made it there. We made it on the show. I guess they got a kick out of us because they kept asking for us back, and then we got a fan base, and fuck, the rest is history.
There you go, man. There you go. You know, it's interesting because the more that I learn about you, you know, the more that I kind of fall in love with Canada a little bit, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am from Michigan, anybody that knows that, and we're honorary Canadians, if you will, depending on the Michigander. It's a person. You have to be immensely sorry to be an honorary Canadian, but it's cool.
Yeah, you gotta be really sorry.
Right.
Be fucking sorry for everything you ever do.
Yeah.
Canadians insult somebody in their dreams, they wake up and apologize.
Oh yeah. They're sorry that you're sorry that you're sorry that you're sorry. Right.
Yeah.
You don't
but
it's
it's
too many groceries in your arm. Sorry, I can't hold the door. I got so many groceries. Like, wow, inconsiderate.
Oh yeah. So I find myself, you know, interested in the culture, like I'm immensely interested in the culture. And so it's interesting because I want to go back, if you will, to the young emo, you know, Chef Rodney 117 back in the day when I first heard the song Fat Lip by Sum 41. Okay. There is a line in that song that goes, he was a kid, no one knew in his name. You know, I didn't really know what a skid was. Here in America, we're like, oh, that
party because nobody came.
Exactly. And so I thought about that. Right. Same here. I was like, what's the American version of a skid? An asshole? I'll take that crown. And so I thought about it, and I was like, this entire song is about being a skid in Canada. I love that. Maybe that's why it hit. It is what it is. And so I still wonder why Letterkenny, being Letterkenny, hasn't used that song for the skids at one point in time, but we'll get to that point. That's what I was exactly. It's not about who you know.
Say any words, I'll just do motions, and you guys will figure it out.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
But that's the thing, dude. Look what you've done with your acting career, doing exactly that.
Yeah.
Doing exactly that, man. I couldn't be more proud. You are a silent film movie, like, it's amazing.
If I was born in the 50s, hold on. If I was born in the 30s, came 25 in the 50s, holy fuck, I would have took off. Silent film star, motherfuckers.
But I also think, like, touch on your point about, like, what does the Canadian skid mean? What's cool about that term is that there's subcultures of skid, and sometimes it's regional, right? Like, for Stratford, right? Being a skid meant like you hung out down at like City Hall with like your parents' credit card and like pretended to kind of be dirty, but like low key like went home by curfew. Like North Bay is like that's a different ball game.
So if I had to put a definition to skid, let's use each letter. SKID. Someone knows I'm dank as hell. That's what I'm going to go with. Or dope as shit. I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, you know, we look at ourselves in the mirror and we have to now understand, and I kind of don't want to switch gears, but it's just something that I definitely want to touch on. Yesterday was a very rough day for me. I'll openly admit I had a massive panic attack. I don't know why. Everything was changing. It is what it is. And so I finally just got really stupid stoned after a couple of joints and went to sleep. It worked. But in that panic attack, I realized, I caught myself, you know, reflecting a little bit inwardly, and I'm like, am I comfortable with the person who I'm staring in the mirror? Like, who is this motherfucker? Who is this bastard? You know, I've got all these things that I want to do. I've got all these awesome friends, that includes you bitches, you know what I'm saying, that are helping me, you know, along in my path. I'm doing amazing. So you know what? I'm not going to stop, and no one's going to stop me. That's the best part. And you know where I learned that? Ply Guy, insert your bullshit ass here. That's where I learned that. Danica, you were like, yo, he's not wrong. You know what I mean? So thank you, my Canadian friends. And with that, I would like to announce that we are officially going international with Deliciously Dope TV. That's right. You heard it here first. You're looking at the two people starting Deliciously Dope TV, Canadian. It's going to be awesome.
I'll be there 100%. At some point.
And the best part,
figuring out some strings, and then I'll get it going.
Oh yeah, strings, hoops, whatever we gotta do, man. It's something that we both, driven to do. Now, before we continue, I gotta take a time and shout out my boy Sean Rossler, Course Grind Podcast.
What's up,
He is the entire reason this happened. Sean, thank you.
I have his note on my wall still that he sent me.
Boom.
Sean, I don't know you yet, but I want to know you. I'm a good people.
Where is it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
right
here.
There. Yep,
it's
right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Right there.
Right behind my dream catcher. Catch all my dreams.
That's really good.
Yo, I'm surprised that Dream Catcher's not dirty, because let's face it, you got a dirty ass mind, bro.
No, I know. But I just embrace all Canadian cultures, but it just is that. And one of my best friends, he's Mi'kmaq and stuff, and she made that for me. So I really I find that kind of sacred type thing.
Yeah.
And I just embrace all cultures, and it should all just be embraced, here. I see a lot of the same racist type of junk in the States, but with black people or whatever, and it's it's the same here but with indigenous, and it's do you not ever go to a powwow? Do you never ever check things out? It's beautiful. It's great. I checked them out every year I was in college, man. It's awesome.
Get it. Now, since we are on a cannabis podcast, we have to talk about cannabis. Now, getting to know you, Ply Guy, I learned that you're an RSO, I wouldn't say patient, but user.
Guilty.
You wanna elaborate?
Why would you even say that? We're federally legal. No shame in our game up here.
No. Oh yeah,
well,
no.
Danica, if you haven't noticed, I'm a living comedy bit, so I'm always just never serious unless I'm I'm fucking serious, man. I'm serious. I'll tell you I'm serious.
I still wouldn't even take that seriously.
I don't know if you did or not, but anyway, Rick Simpson oil is it's a cannabis concentrate made by a guy named Rick Simpson, ironically.
Who is also Canadian.
Yes. And he had skin cancer, and he was all these medicines and chemo and shit's not working for him. So he made his own extract, which is taking the whole benefits of all the plant into a concentrate, which really helps out a lot of different things besides helping reverse cancer and stopping the cells. It helps out with a lot of things with diabetes, because I'm a type 1 diabetic. I have been for almost 12 years now. I think actually 12 years now. What is it? Yeah, it's January 2021. Yeah, 12 years now. Most people don't really take care of it that well. They kind of just, they don't have a schedule for themselves, blah, blah. I set alarms for my insulin. I do everything, but I eat healthy. I go exercise and everything. But still, even if you do everything right, things go wrong, correct?
Right.
So I started getting when I was about 30 years old, 29, I started feeling my nerves a little bit more than I used to. And I'm fuck, man, this is starting to suck. And painkillers weren't working, and regular cannabis smoking wasn't working as best. But then I started taking the Phoenix tears. I found out what it was scientifically, which is Rick Simpson oil. And I'm
okay,
damn, dude, this is actually working. So I went from taking a little rice grain, because it has these little notches in the syringe that you administer it onto food or in your mouth, under the tongue, whatever. And I did it by every single notch. Then I upped my dosage each day to kind of keep the tolerance balanced. Okay. And then I found a tolerance that I like, and or an amount that I like during the day and then at night, and I just keep it at that. And it's always worked for me. And it's really helps out with my nerves. I will feel them, but I don't feel the inflammation as much. I don't feel the cold or numbing sensations that comes with it. Okay. And it helps out a lot. It's just, I would really recommend that you have to, if you're going to take it medicinally and not recreationally, you got to portion it out. If you're going to take it recreationally, go nuts. But medicinally, there's a ritual you should do to make it work for yourself, because not everyone reacts the same to cannabis as I would, correct? So.
Right. So I'm not going to try and mansplain this. That's not what I'm doing. However, I am going to break it down for those who don't really understand the term microdosing. So With microdosing, what it is you take a little bit over time, you know what I'm saying, to build up a decent tolerance, if you will, or to get used to it, and then you adjust the dosage. That's very common right now with a lot of mushrooms, psilocybin to be specific, actually. Here in Ann Arbor, I'm not in Ann Arbor, but here in Michigan, in Ann Arbor, they've decriminalized mushrooms because they found that it's taking away depression and anxiety and things like that. It's a natural reset. I'm all for it. So what I was hearing, if you don't mind, what I'm trying to explain is you started microdosing with RSO and then found a dosage that worked for you, and then you just stuck with that.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, cool. I just want to break that down for people who have that stigma that, if I'm going to recreationally use RSO and just jump into the deep end, how deep is it going to go? Am I going to drown, or like what's going on? You know what I mean?
I wouldn't even recommend it. Just like hop right into fucking edibles. Like unless you're a seasoned veteran who's been doing it or smoking every day for fucking 10 plus years or something.
Right.
Then yeah, you won't know what hit you, because I was on a film set last year. I was a key grip, and I had a bunch of it. So I was just giving it to the crew on our weekends. Okay. And they'd be like, yo, man, I hear you got some Rick Simpson oil or some oil or whatever, and it kicks everyone on their ass. Bet you I can handle it. I'm like, so you want a milliliter? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take a milliliter. And then the next dude like, oh, dude, I felt like I was on Juniper or something. I'm like, you mean Jupiter? Yeah, dude. And I'm like, you can't take that much. That's the thing. You try to act like the king fucking shit, so I gave it to you, and you got to be fucking baked, because you have to ritualize it. If you don't, you'll just fuck yourself. It's like with any edible. People, don't think you're better than edibles. Unless your liver can't process it, you're going to get fucking ripped.
Right. What was that, Danica? Sorry.
No, I'm just laughing at that, because edibles, our good friend Kim Cooper in Canada sent me these high energy nutrition bars, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so delicious, and I ate the whole thing. That edible won, and I wasn't mad at it, but it's a thing. But I really love that you brought up diabetes, because my grandfather is also a type 1 diabetic. So we've been monitoring his insulin, and recently, because, and it sucks so hard, unfortunately, we've had to remove half of each of his foot. Okay. So this is, and it unfortunately is a side effect. But what you're saying about knowing your ritual and knowing that, I really hate that the research and, CBD and the oil, like Rick said, that wasn't available when my papa got diagnosed, 30 years ago. Right. So now, this is a man who gets up and, shit showers and shaves before 5 a.m. is on a tea time. Like, he's not used to not being mobile. So that obviously puts an emotional aspect to it. So I do have him using edibles, because he wasn't being able to sleep. He's in so much pain. And you said, and there's not a lot of research right now about cannabis with diabetes. So what I love about everything you just said is know your body and know your own thing. You know what I mean? And the fact that you were smart enough, I guess, to create your own microdosing and what helps you with that. And, you're not overdoing it, but it's managing the pain, and it's, and you still maintain a healthy lifestyle. Like, if anybody else out there watching is, has diabetes, because we get a lot of questions on a lot of platforms that I'm on about that, and legally doctors can't say anything still at this point, even though we are federally legalized. They can't legally say, hey, Rick Simpson oil does actually help, but you're living proof that in fact it does. So
I look at it this way. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, good. It just depends on who takes it and how your body reacts to it. And it's not also just like taking care of your body. You got to take care of your mentality as a diabetic as well, because it's stressful. There's a lot of mental bullshit that can come with diabetes if you don't regulate it, and if you don't regulate your sugars or have a healthy diet and exercise. If you don't regulate your stress levels or meditate or learn how to accept reality and move forward and everything, it becomes a lot more difficult, because I didn't have mental health about 3 years ago. I never really got woken up to it until my best friend Cass there told me about it. She said, you have problems, dude. You got to get your shit together. So then I actually looked on inside myself and I figured it out. But that's a whole different story. But after that,
all your thinks and thoughts.
Yeah. It's just it's just you got to have mentality if you want to have a healthy body as well. You can't have one without the other, because like you can look like you're really big and strong or whatever. And it's like, wow, he takes care of himself, but like, wow, he's got a shit attitude. No one wants to hang out with him.
Absolutely. So as you Canadians would say, Hundy P.
Hundy P, yeah.
I love that. But I want to. Right. No, I watch too much Letterkenny. I watch too much Letterkenny is what it is. I want to touch on a few things, and I've got some questions, and hopefully someone out there, in Deliciously Dope Land, if you will, has some answers for me. So what if back when the prohibition of marijuana began and it became illegal in the United States and whatnot, and the whole world was like, oh, weed is bad, okay? What if sugarcane and sugar was outlawed as well? Well, what do you think would happen? Do you think that diabetes would have ran rampant through our lives?
I don't know, because diseases are kind of like.
But it's not just sugarcane, because there are sugars in there's
sugars in everything, correct? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's certain fruits that I can't give my papa in excess, right? Because it will, I'll notice a difference. It'll go from a 12 to a 14, and it's no bueno. So that's a very interesting thought, though. I don't know.
Let's look at it this way. Things are hereditary, genetics X, Y, and Z. So let's say my parents didn't eat anything with sugar, and I grew up and I never ate anything with sugar, and I just continued to live that way because I thought that was the right way. I didn't know any better, right? I didn't care to learn any better, okay? Let's say that I did that throughout my life. Then I would teach that to my kids and pass it onwards. Now let's just fast forward through all of that bullshit, spinning around and etch scratch that shit like a fucking turntable, and say this. What if we banned sugar and didn't teach people, go to McDonald's and grab this, go to, Horton's and grab a coffee full of sugar and all that shit? We're not putting so much sugar into the shit that we eat. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible. Especially here in America. Not only does heart disease run rampant, but now we've got COVID. Now we've got all this bullshit that can be fixed with cannabis. Whether you smoke it, whether you eat it, whether you eat it via RSO. I'm going to say capsulate it and create pills, because that's the most common, form I've heard of with RSO. But no matter what, it's fixing these problems. Now, that's got to really put, a hurt on the cigarette companies out there, on the soda companies and all of that out there, because they're like, well, wait a second. We can't do anything about this. That's right. We're here. We're staying here, and we're not really going anywhere with it. You feel me? And I love that. I love the fact that, Deliciously Dope's not the only, company in the world saying this, and that's fine. I love that. But the United States, look what we just went through. We just went through 4 years of bullshit to get to where we want to be. So now we've got to, play pickup and stuff like that. We're trying to make things, federally legal like you guys have. Now, that being said, that leads me to my next question. When it went federally legal for you guys up there, how did that kind of change life, for everyone? Danica, I know you now grow hemp, so that's huge. You know what I'm saying? Ply Guy, I know, RSO and stuff was kind of around that same time. Do you guys live more open about it? Obviously, you probably do. But, has that just changed your everyday, vibe?
Not really, no. It's kind of more, fucking accessible. I don't know.
Okay.
Agree. I agree that it's more accessible, but then, I actually have a strong opinion on this. Also, I will proudly say, Alan Brown, I know you see us. We were the first Canadian official Health Canada female license. We applied for that bad boy before it was even cute. And we were really excited. So, but my focus on that one is industrial hemp. So I'm focusing on grain and fiber and textiles and all bioplastic. We're out here trying to unfuck the world. Pardon my language. Love you, Nana. And
the only person she apologizes to is your Nana.
But when we did federally legalize, it was kind of. It was the Wild West still, you know what I mean? And I said this, I predicted this because I smoked in high school. Right. And I said, as soon as the government figures out a way to monetize this and tax it and make it, you know what I mean? Like alcohol, that's exactly. And I even said, I bet there will be vending machines. I remember the first vending machine I saw at an event with like all cannabis products. And I was like, I don't even need anything, but I need all of what's in here.
Right.
Because this is awesome.
I don't need anything out of it. I just need the convenience because it's new to me.
Well, and I just need to experience it because this is where we're headed. So I do love that about us.
A lot of money blown.
Right.
And that's the thing, right? Like even when I did get the industrial hemp license, I spoke to a human being on the phone. 2 weeks later, the department completely vanished. There was nothing. And they kept rerouting me to my ACMPF license, which is like your medical growing marijuana. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm on the hemp train right now. But they were like, well, that department doesn't exist. And I was like, I promise you it does. Like, I'm not smoking that good. So I promise you that this happened. And then a month later, and like the same department resurfaced, but only online. So it was email only.
Okay.
So I think it was a lot of catch up, right? Because they were like, okay, they opened the floodgates. And then everybody that was waiting for that came, but they also made it like through, oh my gosh, the acronym is escaping me right now, but the government where you bought weed online. People were getting moldy weed. People were getting and it was a huge uproar in Canada because they're like, hey, like we're paying XYZ. Mm-hmm. There was a definite shift, and much to the government of Canada's dismay, it actually boosted the black market.
Right.
Because people were like, why am I going to wait and like these, and I'm talking about people who genuinely use it for, arthritis.
Medicinal purposes. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Like we all like to smoke I'm not shitting on that, but I'm saying the people that are actually like, hey, like I rely on this we're waiting 2 weeks to get it in the mail, moldy, and so incredibly expensive. Like we're talking like some like $30 for a gram. Like it was silly.
That's insane.
Why aren't they going to turn to their black market dealer where they know that they grow it with love and with intention, and they're not there to, bend them over? So I think the government is sort of trying to figure that out still. I mean, Patrick, what do you think? Like you're north, what do you see with your dispensaries?
I didn't really go to the dispensaries when they first came out, to be honest. They didn't even have any in North Bay. They didn't have one until Sudbury, until like about a half a year after. And I still really didn't go because I've been a medical patient since 2015. I've had a card. So I've always just got it from the medical places that were in Canada. And then they went like recreational as well as medical. And you can it's more available. But the thing is with me is that like, I just think all this, the money stuff you were talking about and all the moldy weed and everything like that, or moldy cannabis, is all just poor planning. All poor fucking planning. It's like before you legalized it, you should have.
Thank you.
You should have figured it out. Like this is a medicine. It's not a fucking. It's not. It's a drug. Yes, it's a mind-altering substance. I'm not going to deny that, but it's a fucking medicine for people, and they depend on this to like help ease pain or their insomnia or their anxiety or panic attacks or PTSD flashbacks, all this shit. You know what I mean? So like when you're buying like quality top-notch shit and you're getting mold or like less than a gram for $30, it's like, suck my raisin balls, man. I don't have fucking time for this. I have no time for this shit.
Well, and we also have to keep in mind the majority of these people are on pensions. You know what I mean? Like you and I, we can go out. You can go get work. You're an actor. You can find work. You can, you're like we can all do that. These people that are on pensions and these old people that are.
She's giving us a lot of credit there, isn't she?
Yeah, exactly.
We are young and capable. These people are like, no, these are our golden years.
Especially disabled veterans too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like what?
Like, listen, these people have actually seen war. These people have been taught, fire this gun and kill that person for whatever reason, whether they agree with it or not. They're going and suffering through all of this traumatic PTSD and all of these traumatic mental things just to protect us back here. For whatever notion that is, they come back and try to acclimate to civilian life, and they can't do it, or they've got too much stuff in their lungs, uranium, and all kinds of just crazy shit. Real talk, if a veteran comes up to me and is like, I'm just having a hard time, man, I'm going to be like, thank you for your service. Here's a joint. I'm going to sit and hear your story, man. Because to me, that's important.
Well,
and that's just it.
Having Sarah enough on the show because she was good. I think like we had so much to talk about. I didn't even touch on everything I wanted to discuss with her, so we should probably get her on here. But even she took that and turned it into something that gives back to veterans, to create a hemp farm, to be like, yo, I get your PTSD. It's not a joke. Like.
Oh, absolutely. Let's switch. Sorry, that vape hit me kind of hard. I'm smoking on some platinum vapes over here. It's delicious. It's just dry throat. Going from dabs to concentrates to flower this week, trying to figure out what's going on, what's doing good. Yes, Wanda, absolutely. Dispensaries are a ripoff, especially when, like, being a home grower now, I now know what goes into it. You know, I now know, okay, but is it really worth $30 a gram? You know what I'm saying? No. If you're charging more than $30 for an eighth of marijuana, you're an asshole, okay? Those same assholes... Sorry.
No, I was made you stub your toe every morning.
Oh, every morning. Fly guy.
Yeah,
what's up?
They've changed their prices and shit like that now for dispensaries. It's not $30 a gram anymore.
Okay,
they had poor planning at the start. Yep. So, but the thing is, with different companies, they all have different prices for their third or their eighth. Sorry, and I'm like, right. Well, what separates your bud quality from the other bud's quality to make it $56 for this eighth? Like, why the hell am I paying this much if it says this much on the label when you can't even get like they don't even get the calculations correct? It seems like I look at my labels sometimes and I'm like 0.2% THC equals 17.9%.
That's
THC
not how that works.
I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but.
No, but I've read that on my things, and I'm like, am I high or is this wrong? And then I go to my friends, and they're like, I must be high too, because that looks like the same thing you just said to me. I'm like, okay, let's give a third opinion. And then Mr. or Mrs. Third Opinion goes, I see the same thing. We hear the X-Files theme, and then it's like, dude, like they don't have their shit correct. Like you need more.
Welcome to the third dimension of marijuana.
For what we're getting for our medicine, man. Come on.
Right. 100%, dude, 100%. And that's the thing. So. No, you're absolutely right. And here in America, it's about the same. Okay, so dispensaries, they have their purpose. That's what I'm going to say. They have their purpose. They serve their purpose. Without dispensaries, we really wouldn't have it a way for the government to tax it. You know what I'm saying? So we wouldn't. I get it. But on the black market side of things, I look at it this way. Terpene count is really what I look at marijuana now when I'm consuming, you know, understand no matter what it is. I don't give a shit what the percentage of THC is because it affects everybody differently. So that doesn't mean shit. If you go like, yo, bro, my shit's testing at 32%. How awesome is that? I'm going to tell you it doesn't actually fucking matter. Let me taste it because that's what it is with food. You feel me? Food and cannabis are the same. Interesting enough, you know, there's terpenes in both. So we'll talk about that in other episodes and whatnot and stuff like that. But, yeah, I know I got a little dry mouth going on because of the strain I'm smoking. But terpene counts should, you know, if it's going to be $56 versus $30, what's the difference? They're both the same amount of cannabis. You know, why am I paying more? Well, it's much like, you know, wine or it's much like champagne and things of that nature. Better products, better quality products. Well, I'm paying more for quality and not quantity? Like, what's going on? Here's the thing. If that terpene profile and that terpene offered more healing capabilities or more whatever capabilities, I would, you know, for more, if you will, pay $56. That's a whole different story. Sometimes it's worth investing the money in certain things. For example, I would rather pay $50,000 one time in my life for one vehicle I'm going to drive for the rest of my life versus paying $500 every month. You feel me?
Yep.
That's you know, quality over quantity. Now, how do we gauge that? I honestly think that we need to do more research on terpenes, and with that, you know, classify the allowance of increase, you know, price wise there.
Chef,
what's
may
up,
I?
girl? What's going on?
Chef, may I?
Sorry.
No, don't be, because I don't want to give too much away because he's going to be on your show. We have a Canadian company based out of Vancouver who every single thing that you just spoke about, he has the solution. So I don't want to give too much because he's going to be a guest on your show. He is absolutely incredible. And, you know, like when you say, I don't care how much THC is in it, I know that you get that because you're a chef, whatever, but I don't think that's the point. The point is to be accountable as a company when you're doling out. So my thing is CSR mandates. I feel like all this bullshit packaging, like there has to be one beside me because it's always one beside me. But just like the packaging that they use for like at the dispensaries. Great. If you need to go big or go home, use it out of hemp.
Something like this, you know, like something like this, like the packaging. This is a Platinum Vapes box.
Show you the Canadian one. I mean, oh my god, I wish my arms were
plastic though. They're all plastic, like fucking, like Circle cases. I got a few. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, if those are made out of hemp, dude, you could recycle those. You could plant that and fix the soil.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This,
I mean, that's neat, but that's, you know, that's not recyclable, really.
We don't love that. I mean, like, I'm not even going to name the name because I'm not trying to put anybody on blast.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not just this one company. It's across the board.
Right.
For me, I'm like, we need to revisit how we do packaging because then that would create a market for hemp farmers who wouldn't be so daunted about like, well, okay, where does this go?
They're all like this.
Yeah.
This company, the guest that's going to be on your show, Lighthouse Genomics, they legitimately, exactly what you guys were just talking about, said the same thing. So they're creating this incredible, super, super sciencey, I kind of don't get it sometimes, DNA mapping. So each strain and anything that's being across the board, you can literally scan it and be like, okay, cool, I know exactly what's in it, where it is.
Love it.
And it's an easy way for companies to, like, I feel like if you lead the horse to water. So that's essentially what they're doing. So we can all get responsible about that.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I kind of want to switch gears a little bit because I kept seeing it scroll at the bottom and then it changed, like, you know, we planned it to. But I want to talk about DSBTTV. I got it right without actually having to read it. I almost messed up, and then I just remixed what I said.
Yeah, I made that acronym so people would fuck it up. Maybe that's the reason why it didn't take off, but
it works.
You're an a-hole.
I think that's funny, but yeah.
Oh, it's deep. No, but I've been peeping your stuff on YouTube, man. Seriously, like it's a Canadian it's a Canadian classic already to me. Like the having a joke without actually waiting for a laugh track or a punchline. That's brilliant to me. You know, that's comic genius. Like what's the depth of the joke? You know, how far does it go? And I happened upon, if you might, how to kick ass like an ass kicker.
Yeah, that was for Plywood Mine, but yeah.
Right. But it's the two are the same thing, right?
Yeah, it can be. Well, Plywood Mine is kind of like a hybrid of stuff from DSBT-TV, but just different.
Okay.
Like DSBT-TV was just a variety show. What I was gonna do is try to make like a few more seasons. I was gonna make an episode 11, but it never got done because a lot of my crew started moving away and getting married and having kids and all that.
Life happens.
So life happens, right? So I started being like, well, I haven't created in a while because I went to Sudbury and like that was a big, but like some good things came out of it, but some bad things also. So you know, balance. And I didn't create anything really when I was there. I tried to make this thing called Minute to Kills, and I'm like, well, this isn't working for me. And I was just whatever. Then I came back here and the fucking coronavirus hits, and I'm like, I think this is the perfect opportunity to launch that new idea you've had. So I just clicked the launch button and I revamped a bunch of my sketches. And I just put myself in there so I don't get in trouble with some of the strings attached to me. And I'm not violating any rules. So I just started making some sketches, throwing them out there. And then like I kind of got a little bit of a platform on Twitter and Instagram. And I started being like, hey, I'll share my old stuff and like some of my new vamp shit. And then it actually started getting a little bit of notoriety within the fan base that I have. Like
so much so that it got you onto Tom Green's show, if I'm correct.
Yeah, DSBT TV. I got on there because he had a call-in show called Webovision. So I just came in as my character Craig Henning, who just wears a pillowcase on his head with an eye hole in it, like a little eye hole, so you can't see. That's like the joke. And he went on there and he asked Andy Dick some questions, and then he got to talk to Brody Stevens and Esther Povitsky. And Brody Stevens died of suicide a few years ago. Rest his soul. He was one of my favorite comedians. And I actually got to fucking talk to him as Craig Henning. That was fucking sick. So he kept feeding off me for like 35 minutes or so. It's in the archives. I have the episode too. Should upload it at some point, but or just a segment. But like that was pretty cool, and that was like the biggest thing I did until Letterkenny called, and then like I got on. Now I'm on the show where like wrestlers I used to watch are watching me now when they're like in the retiring days. That's kind of surreal to me, but I'm really grateful and humble about it all, and I try to take it all in every single day and just be like, be grateful for where you are, buddy, because like you worked your ass off. It's paying off. So just be humble, stay working, keep doing it. You know what I mean?
I don't think that a more clear message or a lament or an ode to, you know, who you are as a person could be said, honestly. And I really draw a lot of inspiration from that. You know, that's the thing about food, man. It's all about inspiration. So being a chef, being a cook, it's all about a mentorship. It's all about, you know, honestly, it's about vanity over anything, and wanting to become a rock star, but, you know, being told by rock stars that you're a piece of shit, and that you'll never be able to finish a sauce like I do. You'll never be able to do what I do, X, Y, and Z. So a lot of you can't do this, and a lot of you can't do that. And that's where I pull inspiration from, honestly. I really do. I've worked in many kitchens. I've been fired from many jobs. I've quit a lot of jobs. It's absolutely terrible. But you know what I learned with all of that? I learned at the end of the day, those same people that I thought were 10 feet tall and bulletproof and I idolized as rock stars, the people who I wanted to be, you know what I'm saying, were the fucking people that I shouldn't have been all along. And so from that, I pull inspiration, you know, and so then that's when I put a knife to a table and was like, I'm going to do what you did, but I'm going to do it better, you know, and that's just it. So any chef out there that wants to step toe to toe with me that's fine. That's fine. Let's do it. I'll cook it. I'll have a cook off with you. At the same time, I'm not going to look at it as a competition. I'm going to look at it as a learning perspective. So, yeah, you can go ahead and win, and that's fine. And I do hope you do win. Maybe it's the honorary Canadian in me, but I do hope you win, because then I get to do something that clearly you haven't. I get to learn. I get to ask you, okay, how did you win? Please show me how. There's no winner, there's no loser in my mind. That's just it. And, man, honestly, you know, from hearing the Tom Green show for you, man, Letterkenny, that's just the beginning, dude. That's just the beginning. I feel that, you know. Sorry, Danica, you were going to say something. I went off on a tangent.
No. I said I'll eat the food when you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Well,
of course.
I'll eat the food.
The culinary is like video. Like video is like your final edit, and you have your final cuisine, correct? Mm-hmm. So it's just
absolutely
every video is going to be different. Like every cuisine is going to be different because every chef has a different brain, and everyone doesn't work the same. Man, we all work at our own pace. That's just what's missing in the world, that I think, anyways, and that's why we're so divided, because we don't look inside ourselves to see inside of other people. You know what I mean? If we don't know who the fuck we are, and the more that we don't know who the fuck we are, the more that like we get mad at that. We get mad at like, why are we mad at like we did when we were 16, or why this, or blah blah blah. It's like, well, why don't you try to figure that out? Is it scary? Right. Yes, but if you try to fucking face the face of war and just go for it, then you'll learn some things about yourself. You might be able to forgive and let go of some things and like learn who the fuck you actually are, man. You're not a herd. You're not a fucking sheep. You're not part of like this big group. You're an individual. Everyone's an individual. That's the thing that people don't see, I don't think. It's a hard concept to grasp, but it's so simple at the same time. You know what I mean?
And a person, I say this, a person that thinks that they've already won in a war has already lost.
No, you
have to understand that. You know what I'm saying?
The war in your head will never quit. You'll always you should never want to like not learn about yourself. You should want to learn about you until you're fucking dead, because that's the only thing you'll ever have is the knowledge that you bring to your grave. Your money's not going with you. Your family's not going to hop in the grave and be like, I want to be buried with Patrick. Like, fuck no. Like, it's just you're gone. Like, learn.
You know damn well when they bury our bodies at the end of our lives, however long it may be from now, I hope. But, a lot of cannabis things are just going to start sprouting out from the THC in our veins. You know that, right?
There you go, yeah.
Yeah.
Just, like, put a bunch of seeds on my grave and just big old cannabis plant come out of it. That's cool.
Do it. I love it. Danica, I have a question. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say one thing I do love about the culinary aspect, and I've always appreciated this because I think that it's very important in business and in general, is chefs compartmentalize well. because I worked at the casino in that, like the Canadian side, obviously. And I'm still very good friends with him. Hey, Rob, he'll totally watch this and love it. But he would go savage. Like if I modified some dumb, silly order, like, and he was like, "Are you like, no? Are you joking?" Blow up. Like that sounds like, you know what I mean? It's a different world, but in the back of house. But then like come morning, because we worked midnight. Come morning, it's like, no, all good, like cool. You know what I mean? Like that was work. I was in my zone.
Right.
So I really respect that about you. Like Patrick was saying, like understanding the way that they move, where it's like, hey, we're not friends, but like don't do that silly stuff because it's not fun back here.
You know, at the end of the day, the lesson really is do the best you can with what you've got and live life to its fucking fullest. You're going to miss so much shit. You know, younger me, I'd have been like, nah, dude, let's keep doing shots till 3 a.m. No, let's keep going. You know, clearly I can't do that shit. Now, you know, I got all kinds of shit going on. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work. You wake up with a hangover, and then guess how you cure that? That's right. You smoke a joint. Just skip drinking. Just go straight to the joint. You know, Patrick, I am curious, though. How do, you know, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Still doing what I'm doing, but hopefully just making a bit of money off of it.
Right.
Well, more so than I am now. But
yeah.
That'd be cool if I could, like, just be doing this as my job and then, like, you know, get acting roles or, like, grip and electric jobs. Like, more acting roles, to be honest. Like, I like gripping and electric, but, like, I got in the industry because I want to entertain. I love entertaining people. I like making people laugh. I like trying to give people a piece of value. I was never like this before, but once I got into the industry and like started like learning entertainment, I kind of got more into like, yeah, try to be like a good influence on the world and people and shit if you get into stuff. And then like, you know, maybe we won't be so divided. I don't know.
I love it. You know, I love it.
Especially now more than ever. Everybody needs to stop taking themselves so serious. I mean, take it seriously, but to an extent. I'm spoiled because I'm in the middle of nowhere by myself and my dog. But other people who are, you know, like and that's why I appreciate what you do so much. That's why I love your show, because everybody needs to just take a moment and breathe and laugh. So it's really cool that you do that. But to Rodney's point, what do you see that happening with the Canadian? Do you want to incorporate cannabis? Is it a reality show for you, or is it just like pure comedy? Because I think that there's so many things that you could incorporate cannabis with your comedy.
Yeah, I don't really, it's kind of like cannabis is incorporated in the idea of everything, because like, it's not really a linear comedy, you know what I mean? It's the stuff I make isn't linear. And I've been told many of times by people that like you should try this or try PG comedy or try kids comedy or try this. And I'm like, that's not how my brain works. And I've been told a lot that I should not do this absurd stuff. But now that I got like a fan base and I have people who actually like request more videos from certain characters I play and stuff, I'm like, no, I have a flavor and I like the taste and I'm going to keep giving that flavor out. Because a wise comedian told me is the best advice I ever got was if you find something that works for you, just don't go work within that. And then if you can go beyond that, go beyond it, but always work within that.
I hear that quote. And I think that you and I have had this conversation, Ply Guy, before, and I think I know who said that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that actually leads me into another question, and this is the last letter Kenny question.
That's fine.
Well, I'm sad.
You can say as many as you want.
Well, yeah, no.
Go here, but
yeah, and we can keep going till we want. You know, on set in Letterkenny. Okay, let me, because this is going to take, oh, yeah, hell yeah. Hang on, time out that thing.
No, I've never been.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
How do you, I don't get that.
No, here it goes.
No,
seriously, like I'm more interested in this. I had something awesome.
There's a certain way that you have to put your fingers.
Yeah,
if you don't do it, if you twist it a certain way, it won't work. You twist it this way, it works. Just slowly do it.
So then you just do this.
That's
overlap. slow.
I can't, but
overlap, slow.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're doing it right now. You're not even noticing it. You just did it.
No, I know I'm doing it. I regret it. I wish I did not know how to do that now.
It's a diaper! Oh, God! Yeah. Anyway, question.
So, no,
you in the back.
coming up through the ranks, putting a flame to a pan and sauteing my life, through, a drunken debauchery, just everything, the rock star life wasn't great. I know what it's like to fail. And so from that, I know what it's like to learn. It's similar to the grind that you did becoming an actor, being on film, doing what you can. It's very similar to that path, that same kind of energy, that same drive. So that tells me you being on Letterkenny, there's a certain specific person that you have like a vibe with. You're like, dude, I'm here because I fucking idolize you and respect you. I'm absolutely graced by like working next to you. Like that means a lot to me. I've said that to chefs before, to which we won't, utter their replies, their drunken slurs, if you will. But fact of the matter is there a person on Letterkenny that you look to and you're like, yo, man, I honestly think I'm stupid blessed to be able to like work alongside you. Thank you.
Everyone is great. But I didn't really know anyone beforehand except for Mark Forward. I watched Mark Forward when I was in high school on the John Doerr television show when I was about grade 10.
Okay.
And I saw the episode where John has a medical problem, and I see him on this cart with the back of the green screen. He's being like, get out of the way. I got to save my friend John. I got to save my friend John. He's running through this shit thing. And I thought it was one of the funniest things. And at the end, they put him in John's colon, and he's running through it doing the same thing as the credits roll. And I was dying howling. I'm like, that guy's so fucking funny. Who is he? So I looked up like the credits. I went Mark Forward, and I found he had a bunch of stand-up. I checked out his stand-up, and I was like, this guy is like, yes, this is the guy that I would vibe with 100%. Same with John Doerr as well, because like their comedy is like obscure. It's like really out there. All the out there comedy is what gets me like howling. I don't know why, it just does, because it's just off the fucking wall. But that being said, like Mark Forward, working with him, getting to take a picture with him, just talking to him on Twitter, talking to him like just outside when I'm having a cigar or whatever, when I was smoking, was like surreal, dude. Like he's just a regular dude or whatever. But like I'm like, dude, I fucking grew up watching you. Now I'm working with you, alongside you, and like
feels
filming
good, right?
you and like lighting you, like both things.
Yeah, feels good, man. It feels good, and
it's awesome.
That's
Guys,
if that. Sorry,
hold on 1 second.
Yep.
This is funny.
What's funny?
This is funny. No, continue. Sorry.
Then why did you ask us to hang on a second and tell us it was funny, and then tell us to go ahead? Okay, that's confusing.
Well, I mean,
it's perplexing.
And then when I heard a few years ago we were going to be in a scene with Jonathan Torrens, the Skids,
right?
My heart dropped. I was like, oh, fuck, oh my god, fucking Jonathan Torrens, like really? And like most people wouldn't do that, but like I grew up watching Trailer Park Boys, right? Too. Like
I'm live right now on the segment.
Who did you call?
Okay, I'll talk to you later then, honey.
Okay.
Love you.
Say, wait, Nana.
Hi.
She just emailed me and she's like, can you get more edibles today? I called.
Oh, your Nana?
That's just exactly to your point.
So,
but to your point.
I got something for y'all, okay? And I think that here soon the border's going to open it up. Let's face it. Corona's, I wouldn't say dying down, but it's getting better than it was. Corona, COVID, Corona, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The point is, Corolla. It's a Corolla now. It's a Corolla. Everyone knows a Corolla can, it's pretty badass. Anyhow, Deliciously Dope TV is, in fact, we have.
Not say that anymore after Nana's beat.
What? Sorry, Nana, but at the same time, like that's my thing. Like that's, where that came from.
I will not censor you.
It is what it is. I'll apologize for. If I make Nana some edibles, she'll completely be like, "That shit's hilarious as hell."
I was like, "What's going on?" Like,
I hope Nana doesn't sound like that. Nothing, Nana. It's fine. We're baked. It's cool. But we're actually going to be doing a 420 thing with the local restaurant, so that's pretty cool. We're going to be
your Michigan butt up to Canada, though.
Yeah. Well, we're getting there. Again with COVID and all of those things. Got the gun on the screen.
Fake gun. Fake. Look. Fake.
Right?
Fake. Can't even cock it.
He said cock.
Just my thumbtack gun. Boom.
That's what she said. Oh my god.
Right.
I feel
But no,
like
we're going to be doing a 420 special with a local restaurant, so that's pretty legit. And so from there, what we're going to do is we're going to deliver boxes to people, and they can cook along with me as we cook inside the restaurant here, and watch me film. Watch me film an episode of Deliciously Dope: A Journey into the World of Culinary Chronicles. That shit's going to be banging, and I'm going to let it be projected all over Canada and stuff like that, eh? Canada. Yeah, I knew both of you would say it at the same time as soon as I said that shit.
In Canada.
it was originally Canada.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Google it.
So I'm
Canada,
gonna
yeah,
Google
right.
it.
It was
Yeah,
Canada.
no, I believe you.
Right.
You.
I believe you. No, I didn't doubt you at all. I don't doubt
You know
you.
what? I'm sorry.
I probably should.
Down there until I
I'm
chimed
sorry. Oh, there it is. There it is. I'm sorry. No, so I don't know where it came from, but I heard this growing up in Michigan. Canada named themselves by putting a bunch of letters in a hat and pulled out CANADA, and they just stuck with that. I was like, that is the most like racist yet stupidest thing I've ever heard, but watch them apologize when I say it.
No. I'm sorry that you believe.
There it is. There it is.
Sorry
Yeah.
for
No,
drawing
it's-
the
right.
letters, eh?
Right. Sorry about the letters, eh?
This is exactly what Patrick was talking about. It
Yeah.
was Canada because it was not owned by France or England. It was owned
Exactly.
Can one of you guys explain why Montreal wants to secede?
No, it's not Montreal. It's
Or
Quebec.
Quebec, sorry, Quebec.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Quebecois. They want to be their own country, and quite frankly, I'm happy to see them go.
I just think anyone can do whatever they want, and like people are going to argue whether we all like it or not because no one ever wants to get along. So we just have to accept that reality and move forward.
Yeah, there's enough space on this earth for everyone.
Well,
But there won't be if we don't put hemp into the ground and try and cure shit. So there's that.
Thank you, and we're still waiting for Sweet Chinese Glass Factory to get back to me because we were supposed to have them on our shows. They then said they did not have.
Let's do this. How would you guys both like to attend? Obviously, Danica, you'll have to because it's on your property, but a dinner put on by Deliciously Dope and filmed in the middle of a hemp field.
So you and Shadi should talk about that because she kind of
Let's do
had
it.
dibs on that one.
Oh, she can have dibs. Just let me be there. I'll film it.
Oh no, that's like it's a thing, and we want to do a pop up kind of, like, do you know what dinner on Blanc is? It's a really cool concept where it's like, you pay X, blah, 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 but it's like a 5-course.
So wait. Dinner on Blanc? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So dinner on white.
Dinner, yeah, well, basically the idea, and this was wrong, but the idea was, and oh, hey, Rob, I missed you, because it's like an elitist thing.
Right.
You showed up and you could either like hire the chef who was cooking, and it was just like a pop-up location, but like really cool, and you like all were white and blah, blah, blah. I wanted to do something similar on the hemp farm, where it's a pop-up 5, and I see a face. But
It's distracting as shit, isn't it?
I didn't see it. It really is. But no, I really did
Nothing.
want to do that, and that's the goal for CHRONIClez. Eventually,
Let's do
we will be doing consistent educational programs or pop-ups. Stratford is really good with culinary. Literally not.
Are you trying to touch? What are you doing?
I'm blocking him
I'm
out.
just stretching. Like, why are you guys like watching me? Just you
'Cause
guys
you're
are talking,
entertaining.
I'm just listening. I'm just trying to listen.
Yeah. No, Connor, calm down. Calm down, Connor.
Next show, I feel like
Connor.
you need to breathe your hair.
It's not Darian.
It's
Where'd he
none of those words at
It's
all.
none of those words.
All right, we're still live. So next time.
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. No,
It's fine. You guys are talking. I was just listening, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not here for a few minutes.
I think it's great.
Get in the back,
Every time I
Stinger.
talk, okay, that's a little weird. That's a little weird. And I'm walking.
Oh, is
I'm
it?
waiting for like someone to walk in for a goldfish.
You guys don't
interview
get a
about that at the
Tuesday
time
pass
of your
here?
life. Ew.
Yeah.
Ew. But no, I look at the things that we're doing and the way that we're moving along, and it's inspirational, and I pull inspiration from things, and I put that inspiration into food. I put that inspiration into making these, videos, into making Deliciously Dope a, international and soon to be worldwide brand, and I think that it's definitely got a good message behind it. It's gotten me to talk to, two amazing people that you see in front of your screens, and I find it immensely awesome because I watched Letterkenny when it first came out and hit American soil, and I'm like, that's hilarious. And then watching the skids, and I'm like, these guys are hilarious, and I'm waiting for the background skids to say something, and they never do, and that's part of the joke. And I'm like, holy shit, I get it. And then once that light bulb went off, it illuminated the entire room that you can be hilarious Benny Hill style without actually saying anything, and that just opened up Pandora's box of comedy for me. And so it's that really turned me on to Trailer Park Boys and a lot of these, professional Canadian actors and stuff, and it's insane, and thank you for that, man. Play Guy, thank you. Danica, you've really been I'm going to spearhead this, but I'm going to spearhead this, not only being an entrepreneur and a brand new hemp farmer, if you will. You're kind of just jumping into it after legalization. You're I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be the loudest person, the biggest person in the room without saying anything, only because you're female. Because they, there used to be, stigmas across the board. They don't expect, so much kind of knowledge and so much, energy to come from someone so small. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But at the same time, it's a good thing because all of these connections that we're making, in the end, we're able to help each other out. Now, I want to leave my, people with this. If at first you don't succeed, try again. If those don't work, understand why.
Me and
That's
my
the key point.
Feel better.
Don't stop failing. That's all I have to say.
Don't stop failing.
I'm also going to shamelessly plug my segment today, which is Away with Jackie Childs. We are so grateful to have her. So, boom, I shamelessly plug. Not mad.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I was going to get to it eventually, but it's cool.
I don't wait for a man, That's why I'm
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Never wait for a man. You'll be waiting a very long time. Because sometimes we get distracted. Let's face it, we get distracted.
No,
but
I'm grateful to work with your company because you,
100%.
What you're up to, like I said before, is marrying the culinary, the business aspect, the digital, getting the message out there. It's the perfect storm. So here we grow.
Thank you. Absolutely. Speaking of Here We Grow, make sure you check out Kim Cooper tonight and Danica on Here We Grow. They're going to sit down with, who is that? Jackie Childs?
The one and only.
Yeah, definitely peep that. And on the episode, they are in fact going to give away Shadi Ramey's, Hemp Can Change the World. That's a cookbook on hemp, for hemp, by hemp, because of hemp. Definitely make sure you tune in. You can get a free copy of that. So that's going to be something you're going to definitely want to shamelessly plug. Absolutely. But now that people can't say they didn't hear it, I said it. It was said twice. If you don't tune in, you're an asshole. I'm joking. You're not an asshole. But, Ply Guy, thank you so much for fucking... Dude, seriously, man, you make Letterkenny better for me now, man. You really do. Being able to be hey, look at that fucker. I pay attention to some of this shit. And I have to be honest with you, man. You're going to have to teach me some of those dance moves.
Oh, yeah. I got my own class I'm gonna do. I got the arm wiener down. I got to remember what other moves I did. And then,
There's an Egyptian, walker, dancer or something like that.
Yeah, I do. I can do this shuffle where I look like I'm moving sideways, but I'm not actually moving my legs. It's just kind of like a shuffle. I think I did that in the first season when we were selling cigarettes to kids or something.
Yeah.
For $1, $1 a dart.
$1 a dart.
$1 a dart.
Hacking darts and breaking hearts, baby.
Back when I was 11.
It
brings you back. But are we ending the show now? Are you signing off?
Yeah, I was about to sign off and introduce people to the new closing. We had our new production crew headed by Ron Stratton actually put this together, and it's pretty cool. I really enjoy it. But I'm about to go smoke with these guys and talk about more awesome things that don't involve y'all's faces. So until then, I'm your boy Chef Rodney 117. To all my tokers, jokers, and smokers, make sure you tune in every Tuesday and Thursday, 1:17 p.m. Deliciously Dope's Daily Chronicles. I'll see you guys on the flip. Peace.
Thanks for having me, Rod. Thanks for having me, Danica. You guys are great.
Pleasure.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.